Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Anya, with Restream Team North America, and joining me today is Gustavo from Restream Team Europe. This is Livestream with Restream. Hi there.
Hi there. Hi, Anya. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to be here again.
Absolutely, super amazing. So today we are live on Restream, Facebook, YouTube, and a couple of paired channels, which is something that we are going to cover today. And the conversation today is all around events, how scheduling your streams in advance is going to help you grow your audience and get much more views. So that's the topic. But of course, we are going to answer all of your burning questions, regardless if they are around events or not. So prepare anything you want us to share your shed some light on and help you understand in terms of product, Restream, benefits or features. I'm seeing some people starting to show up, so we're going to be acknowledging our users coming in. Hey, says Lady Milanis. Hi, welcome. The Gate Academy says hello. Welcome to the show. Eleanor says hello. And then Chris says hi. All YouTubers today. Welcome, welcome, everybody. So I think we're going to start with a very,
Eleanor is the
with
most
our.
beautiful name on earth. Sorry
Oh,
to
really?
interrupt you, Anya. Yeah, it's
No,
the
no,
name of
no.
my
That's
daughter.
great. It's so cool. I
Yeah,
love seeing names that are significant, right? Like the names that mean
yeah,
something. That's always so adorable
yeah.
and awesome. All right, guys, tell us where you're watching from. Last time we asked you to drop a flag in the chat so we could guess which country that is. And we are super excited to continue this tradition because it's a lot of fun. So please put a flag of the country that you're watching us from, and we'll try to guess it. If we don't guess it, oh well, you'll have to tell us. And
Last
and in the
last time
meantime,
we last time we
yeah,
made some mistakes. Hopefully, this time we're gonna perform better on the geography classes.
we had some easy ones and some really hard ones last time. So we'll see what's going on. All
Yeah.
right. So Sherry and Shelf are
Uh,
United States. Those are easy peasy. The Gate Academy. You want to guess this
oh,
one?
Finland.
Finland for Lady Milanis. Okay, that sounds
Yeah,
right. What
we're
about the
we,
Gate
we are
Academy?
neighbors. We are neighbors since I'm based in Tallinn. So yeah,
I think this one is India, but let me know if I'm
India. I
wrong.
would go for
Yeah.
India for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I like how folks are adding USA, Houston, Texas. That's its own country. There is a Texas flag, actually. I'm not sure if there's emoji for it, but it definitely exists.
This is the Formula One.
That's a good one. Where are you
I would
watching
like
us
to know
from?
where are you, Mark? Yeah, from the racing
Awesome.
track, maybe.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. There is really cool. What about this one, Gustavo? I'm not sure.
South Africa. I
South
guess it's
Africa?
South Africa. Yeah,
You think
yeah,
so? Live streams.
I think
Okay.
so.
I see that Sergio says he's from Argentina, and then there is Donna from Australia. There is Brazil, Egypt. Oh my God, what a cool geography today. This is super exciting. Thank you guys for sharing. Let's see if we guessed it right. Ooh, this
Saudações pro
one.
pessoal do Brasil. I'm gonna spend my Portuguese right now, Anya. Sorry.
Oh my God. I'm from Europe. That's amazing. And there is this one,
What
South Africa. Yes, this was right.
What about this one, Anya?
Oh, yeah, I highlighted it. I'm not actually sure. It
Should
does look.
should should we blame the size that we cannot see so we don't look like
No, no, we have a zoom option, and I just zoomed it. I know it's not Tunisia, even though it looks a little bit like Tunisia, but oh gosh,
I
I
would
don't know
go
this
for
one. It's not Tunisia. The Tunisia is red
no.
with
It's not. It's red. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Oh, let
gate
us
academy.
know. Yeah, like Kevin, you'll have to educate us on this one because we are not sure about this one. But yeah, so here we go. Awesome. The next question that we actually had for you before we head into a couple of demonstrations here and is we would like to know a little bit more about your experience with events so far. So you know that you can go live instantly with Restream. So just get into the studio, click the go live button, and here you are. Or you can schedule an event, which is something that we're doing right now. So we basically preset this stream last week, and now we are streaming into it. Let us know how many of you have used events before. Do you prefer scheduling events, or do you prefer to go live instantly? And if you can briefly share with us why, that would be really helpful, because today we want to talk to you about the benefits of scheduling and the events feature in general. So, why this is helpful and what it can do for you in terms of growing your community and, of course, getting more live views. So while you're letting us know if you schedule events or if you go live instantly, I think we're going to go ahead and share the benefits of events as we see them here at Team Restream. And I'm going to start with you, Gustavo. So I know you have a little bit of stats to share. And also, that would be a nice kind of segue into why it's good to schedule.
Yeah, sure thing. So, uh, most of our customers, they schedule their events 1 hour before they go live, right? And that's the majority of people. But we are trying to educate people that they should do it earlier, and there are good reasons for that, actually, because you can build a consistent schedule. You can actually use pairs. You can promote your live stream on your social medias in advance and get more audience. So yeah, a lot of people, they kind of, they schedule like not too far in advance. But this is something that I would like to see people doing more, because we see a lot of people that can exploit the fact that they are actually promoting their life way ahead of time.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing some comments already coming in. Super helpful. Roland is saying, I do both. So scheduling and instant, depending on the case. Roland, if you could elaborate on what cases are for you working better with instant versus events, that will be super, super helpful. Then Julie says that first time going hybrid in person and live stream, want to schedule an event. Absolutely great idea. We will tell you why in just a minute. Just starting to venture into streaming. So not sure yet, events or instant. So the live stream says when the link drops, the link does not relink. So I guess this he's referring or she's referring to the fact that when you're creating an event and if something happens with your internet connection, it's hard to reconnect back to that event. We'll definitely touch base on that later today as well. What's the workaround for that? Would like to schedule, but I use Zoom as well as Restream, so that should not stop you from creating events and scheduling. And there are a couple of more. Test channel is a good name. I pre-schedule 3 events as I bring the panelists into the studio a week ahead, make sure they are comfortable with the platform and the overlays, backgrounds, logos, and more. Definitely pre-scheduling is very helpful. And Lady Milani says, I just started 4 weeks ago. I'm slowly getting into it. It's difficult for me to schedule my shows because I'm a nurse and have to be available to jump in of work anytime. That is really interesting case why you would stream instantly, because you
Mhm.
basically don't know exactly what your own schedule is like. That's a really cool one. And then the last comment is from Kalishi, and they say, I also do instant. All right, so we are going to come back to our 3 benefits. I know that Gustavo touched briefly on the ones like the reasons why scheduling events is going to be helpful. And I'm just going to recap real quick. So, number one benefit that you get from scheduling events is promotion on end platforms. Some of you who joined this event on either YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn have probably seen that there is a little set a reminder button on the link to the event that appears whenever you schedule. So if you schedule 7 days in advance, for 7 days on your feed on Facebook or on YouTube, people will be able to click the reminder button, and then depending on platform, they will either get an in-app notification that's LinkedIn and Facebook, or even an email reminding them that your event or live show is about to start. So that's great, because that's the pre-promotion of your stream that's done by end platform for you. The second thing that you can do is you can pre-promote yourself by creating an event in advance. You're getting a URL to the event, and that allows you to send it to your email list, to post it on your social, to send it in the messenger, all the ways, even add it to the calendar if you have people subscribing to your calendar. So many different ways to gear people towards showing up when you go live, which is very powerful. That's the way to go, and that's how you get more engagement and more views. And the last but not least is, of course, pairs. We are going to dive into pairs a little deeper later in the show because we want to make sure we answer all the questions. But Restream Pairs is currently events-based feature. What Restream Pairs do is they allow you to go live on the channels of your guests. So if you are creating an event and invite guest speakers, partners, collaborators, coworkers, whoever those people could be, they can add their own YouTube's, Facebook's, LinkedIn, and then you can go live on all of those channels at the same time in addition to your own, boosting your views, doubling your engagement instantly, tapping into their audiences, working and developing the audiences together. It's also easier to create content when there's two people around, right? Like just like we're doing right now with Gustavo. So all of those benefits are available with events. So check them out. And as we move forward, let's take some questions. Let's see what we have
Here's
going
one.
on. Are you exclusively using Restream Studio now, or are you using another software in addition? Self-addiction. Good question. We are using exclusively Restream Studio, and there are two reasons for that. One, we want to showcase the product. Two, I honestly don't know how to go live other than through Studio. I believe that it's very important to make going live easy and user-friendly and intuitive. So that's why Studio is my way to go. For those who are just starting with streaming, Studio is definitely the easiest way to kind of get the grasp of streaming. So that's why everything you see here, all the effects, all the overlays, music, videos, all those things are Studio only, exclusively, no additional software. Good question. Awesome. Oh, here we go. Overland Gigs. I use Restream exclusively now to schedule all my shows. This is David Foster. Hi, David. Good to hear from you. That's awesome. Overland Gigs. That's a good name. Beautiful. When connecting through OBS or third-party RTMP and it drops the connection, does it? It does not reconnect. Okay, so that's that kind of was mentioned in the beginning. So let's address this question. So what happens with events, similarly to instant streaming, actually, is when you lose your connection or your laptop dies or whatever reason, you completely stop your stream feed to us to restream. We give you a grace period. It's about 2 minutes that we give you to basically figure out what's going on. So if your internet or computer does not reconnect within 2 minutes, the system assumes that your stream is over and then we close it. There's one exception when you have guests who are with you in the studio, and let's say your internet got disconnected, but your guest is still connected and their internet and everything works fine, the grace period actually goes up to 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, your guests can kind of cover up your situation with technology, and then in 5 minutes we will still end the event because we assume that at this point you're definitely done with the stream. So what you can do about that, first make sure that you don't reconnect for more than 2 minutes. If you do reconnect and then start your stream again, unfortunately you cannot come back to that same event, but you can start a live stream and onto the same channels with instant streaming. This is exactly the same thing that will happen if you're streaming instantly. So unless you have power outages or experience internet drops very frequently, the difference between events and streaming is not going to be huge. You still have those 2 minutes to reconnect. And if you don't do that, we will start a new event or a new stream. Very good question and good point. All right. I currently use StreamYard, and I'm just curious about what Restream has to offer. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. Since today we are talking about events primarily, the very unique feature differentiator, something that no other streaming software is offering, is pairs. So streaming onto your guest channels, up to 10 guests and up to 100 channels total. So inviting with just a simple link anyone who you want to amplify and share your event on their channels is something that Restream offers exclusively. No one else does that. In addition to that, Restream offers a lot more platforms. You can stream on multiple Facebooks, multiple YouTubes. We offer scheduling pre-recorded videos. Overall user experience and the quality of streams tend to be a little higher because we've been on the market for a little longer. So depending on what you're looking for specifically, there are several benefits. But I would say in the context of events, the most powerful things is a lot more channels and pairs streaming on the channels of your guests.
Just a reminder that we do weekly webinars, onboarding educational webinars. So I'm gonna drop the link here on the chat, and if you feel like you want to get a thorough a demonstration about what Restream can do for you, and then you can compare better the tools, then that's a great way actually to get to know better about the Restream. Very shortly, I'm gonna drop the link here. So yeah, and then we can help you to get the value out of Restream for sure.
Absolutely. Howard here is asking, can you use pairs with Ecamm? Great question. And the answer is yes. As long as you are event based streaming, you can. There's one thing that you need to consider when you are creating an event. You first need to make it happen in Restream. So you create your event in Restream, then you grab your pairs link from your Restream event card. And then when you enter Ecamm, you will be selecting that event in the Ecamm settings. There's actually a tutorial video about that that I can definitely share in the comment to this video so you can have a look how exactly that works. But yes, it is supported by Ecamm. Just make sure you create an event in Restream first and then select it from your Ecamm sources and settings. Great question. All right. So what else do we have going on? Should I do a quick little demo
Have
and kind of
you
like show you? Oh,
have you seen this question before, Anya?
I have. I see it all the time. Can you use a green screen with Restream? Yes, it's a very commonly used, commonly asked question, common request. It's actually making its way to our roadmap for the future because we are thinking about bringing this
Hmm.
to you. Currently, there is a workaround with OBS, so you can use OBS virtual camera and green screen in OBS, basically, and then pull the OBS as a camera source, and then you'll have a green screen with all the studio features, such as overlaying chats, comments, and other graphics. But we are going to look into this deeper towards the beginning of next year and hopefully bring that feature over to you. Good question. Keep bringing up things that you would like to see because that helps us to form our roadmap based on your needs. Awesome. Rush is saying, been using Restream to stream our church services since COVID started to both YouTube and Facebook. It's great. Thank you. Nothing makes us happier and nothing makes my day better than hearing great stories about how you guys use Restream and how it's helping you, your business, your mission. Thank you for sharing. That's really great to hear. Yeah, church service streaming is a great use case. Do comments from paired streams show up in Restream comments section? That they absolutely do. Let me show you how. I'm just gonna show you a quick overlay, so it's gonna cover everything, just because we didn't like think that through very well. But this is how it's gonna look. So see how you have your paired channels clearly marked as paired, and then the channels that are just coming from your people, your channels are just appearing as regular. That's gonna appear both in your chat in the studio or in standalone chat application if you're using browsers. I'm sorry, if you're using encoders like OBS or Ecamm. But yes, they're going to be clearly marked and they are going to come through. Good question. Very important, right? Why streaming on guest channels if your guest audiences cannot communicate with you? So, no, we got that covered. Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a very quick demo of just a couple of things that you might want to consider when an infinity loop, sorry about that, when you are scheduling events. So here is your section of scheduling events. There are two ways you can get into this. You can schedule an event from your lobby, or you can get into the event section here and click create event. One new thing that we introduced recently, which is currently affecting about 50% of our old users and all new users, is we invite you to first, when you schedule an event, select the type of stream. So how are you going to go live? Are you going to use studio, encoders, hello OBS and Ecamm people, or you're going to schedule a video file? So basically push something pre-recorded to go live. Once you make this selection, the rest of the process is exactly the same as it used to be. Let me just put it a little bit further down the road. And then on your next step, you will be able to select your channels, the ones that you want to schedule this event on. Remember that not all platforms create an event card. Actually, Twitter and Twitch don't currently support event card creation, but LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube do. So once you selected your channel, you will click create event, and that is going to make an event card for this upcoming stream of yours at that specific time and date. Right away, you get the pop up that invites you to use Restream pairs. That is currently a pro feature. So if you're on pro plan or high, you'll be seeing that. You won't be seeing that on free and standard plan just yet. But if you're a professional user or higher, all you need to do is just click this toggle on to make sure that pairs are enabled. And then this link is what you'll be sharing with your guests who you want to connect their channels to your event and stream to more social platforms and destinations. Once that's done, here's your event card. So this is how you will enter the studio for this specific event. Make sure you enter exactly from your event card and not from your general studio, because then you will not be in the same room with your guests and also one stream into the scheduled event. Yeah, this is your guest invitation link. So if you didn't copy the link right away from your card, actually, this is the stream that we're doing right now, so that's why it's loading for a second. You can always click on that invite guest and acquire that link later. These are your channels, so you can see at any moment when you're coming back to your event where this event is going live on. You can actually edit more channels and add them on the fly, even because this event is actually live, and we can just go ahead and say, yeah, test live. Why don't we send it over there as well? And if you chose to pair and your pairs edit their channels, you will be able to see them here. Your channels, pair channels. So paired are your guests. Pretty big crowd today. Here's Gustavo's channel somewhere here. Here's his Facebook. So hello, Gustavo's friends on Facebook, if you're watching us today. So yeah, that's our event flow. And let's come back to some more questions. Our favorite. Awesome. How do we have recorded video in example pruning a plant playing smoothly during a live stream? An example pruning a plant. I love that. That's super cute. Thanks for the context, guys. This is great. I've tried Restream, but it comes through quite choppy. Any tips? So yes, definitely. There are two ways how you can play a video on Restream. Number one is a video clip. That is something that we played earlier for our countdown timer. The video clip will be a full takeover of your screen. So if we start playing it, your microphones are mute, everything just goes away. Focus on video only. Those video clips have certain limitations in terms of size. Their maximum size is 300 megabytes. Supported formats are listed in your little tooltip right there. But just remember that the major difference is that it's a slightly smaller file and full takeover of your screen. Alternatively, I am going to share my screen again so just you see exactly the same thing that I'm seeing. You have this little plus button right under your video. And if you click that button, you will get a pop-up that says local video file. If you select it, you will be able to play any video that you have on your computer. So for example, I'm just going to do the pairs flow, right? And here, see how it appeared right here on the side for me. I'm going to maximize it, toggle it on. And here is the video playing, but I can talk over it. So you can still hear my comments despite the fact that we're showing the video. So how do you make the process smooth and not choppy? Two major things to consider. And let me first actually stop all this extravaganza. Two major things. Number one, make sure that you have the best internet connection possible. Get wired, make sure your speed is good because you are loading more and more things on your browser. You have your own video, you have your audio, potentially you have a guest sharing screen. Then you bring it in that local video file, and that continues to take your bandwidth on your internet as well as on your computer, on your CPU. So make sure that you have the best connection possible. Make sure you close all the other programs, tabs. You don't have anything else running on the background of your computer that's taking its power and its capability to continue processing the video. And then make sure that your video file is not gigantic. If you have terabytes of video, it is probably going to be a little slow. So test it, try different things. But the two major things that affect the speed of that video is your internet connection as well as your CPU, so the power of your computer, and how large is the file. So experiment with that and find the golden middle for your setup. If you're not finding it, talk to our support. 24/7 people will check your setup in particular and give you some recommendations. Right, I'm ready for the next one, Gustavo. We are rolling
We have
today.
actually a special participation on Hannah Dean, our customer success manager, giving our audience a little bit of a workaround while we don't come up with our green screen. So she says that I love using OBS Virtual Can as a green screen workaround. Otherwise, if you want to use a filter or don't have a green screen, then using something like SnapCan is great with Studio. So thank you, Hannah. Thank you for helping us with this one.
Absolutely. That's a great question and great comment. Yes, green screen through OBS. There are some tutorials on our YouTube channel that you can check out if you're not sure how exactly to do that. Or you can, again, hit up our customer support and they will share the links as they come in. Randy is asking, when you share a link with another guest for pairing, what instructions should you give them on how to add that? For example, if they have a YouTube channel, where do they add the URL? I can actually show you let me see if I can do it. So the instructions generally that you give to to your guests or pairs is that you're inviting them to pair their channels. So the broadcast that you're preparing is going to be sent to their social platforms. So they have to be okay with that. They will need to create a Restream account in order to be able to pair, because that's the only way for us to know that we're going to be grabbing those channels and connecting them to your stream. It is going to be free for your guests to pair, so there's no upgrade or payment required on their end, but you definitely need to tell them that they will be creating an account. Let me go ahead and show you real quick here how this looks from the guest perspective. And we're actually about to change that flow a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit more user friendly. But here is my event. Here's my pairs link, right? I'm going to just connect it, copy it, and this is what your guests will see. So normally it will have your thumbnail, and your guests will see like you're invited to stream this event on their social channels. It's going to tell them who is this is hosted by, and also what time that starts. And if you click pair your channels here, like right now it's probably not going to let me do it because I'm the host already, but it's just going to pop up an a window that looks like this, and they will be able to either add their channels from scratch if their account is brand new. So we'll just say, hey, which account would you like to pair? Or if they already have an existing account, then it's going to pop up the whole list of channels, and they can simply toggle the ones that they want to pair with your event on, save, and then as a host, you'll be able to see your channels and pair channels on the event card. This is actually the event card where I paired. So this was hosted by Creator Wizard, and they invited me to be guest on their show, and I paired my channels with them. So see how it basically allowed me to connect my channels, and then I can even view the event, and I can just simply click the link, and it will show me the link to the video. So now this video actually happened already. Before it would show me the scheduled post for the upcoming event. I hope that makes sense and answers your question. Let me stop showing. Yeah, so they don't need to have any URL. All they need to do is get that link, create an account, or log into existing one, and then toggle on or add channels, and then they're good to go. Is recurring event something that we will see in the future? DJ, great idea. Yes, absolutely. Thinking about that quite a bit. It comes up quite frequently, and we are going to continue sending that information to our product team. Not supported just yet, but it's a good idea, and definitely see a lot of value in that. So coming soon. Awesome possum. How many people can use that link at once? I'm assuming that Encounter today is referring to pairs. You can invite up to 10 different people to pair, and they cumulatively can add up to 100 channels. So far, no one broke the record. If you want to challenge me and break it, try it. And yeah, sorry, developers and customer support if I'm putting you on the spot right now by inviting people to challenge the limits. But that's what we have. That's what we have going on right now. Awesome. So I have, I see a great question right here from Luca Ministry. How can I connect Restream with my Canon camera? And it looks like Restream is not friendly with MacBooks. Oh no, I'm actually on MacBook and I'm connecting my
Me
camera
too. Yeah.
DSLR. Yeah. So as you can see, the quality of my stream, let me maximize myself. A little vanity moment. You see how like it's pretty crisp, right? So the important part here is that you want to decide on what type of camera you're using. If you are using a Canon DSLR like I do, so my camera is T8i, actually, EOS. The one device that you need is a Camlink. It's a Elgato product. It's called Camlink, and I will try to find the link, or maybe Gustavo, you can help me out and find like a link to Elgato Camlink and drop it in the chat. So it's a simple device that allows you to connect to your camera, and then through HDMI it connects to your laptop through like any kind of like HDMI cable, just like this. So what it does, it tricks your computer into thinking that your DSLR camera is actually a web camera. And then after setting up your camera settings, you can select it from the studio menu. I'm going to show you how that looks on my end right here. So see my little icon for settings. And when I click it, it gives me multiple different video inputs. And you see, this is my Camlink 4K. So this is my Canon camera. And I also have my Sony camera as an alternative. For Sony, you actually don't need a Camlink. You just need to install the drivers, and then you can use it as a web camera as well. So there's several different options for DSLR or high quality cameras. I personally also prefer Canon. So what you need is Elgato Camlink. Elgato Camlink. Oh, hang on tight for that. Oh, here we go. Hannah is already here. She got our back. Thank you so much, Hannah. This is super helpful. Yeah, so that's a very easy thing to do. I know it sounds like, oh, you gotta set up your Canon and then you got this Cam Link, but it's just two things. They connect together. You plug them into your computer, and it works excellent with Mac because that's what we're using right now. That's what I'm on, and you can see the quality is pretty good. Awesome. All right. I have started using Zoom now because it's getting crazy. I love that. It does not connect to Facebook anymore either. So, are you referring to Zoom not connecting to Facebook, or can you just elaborate on that a little bit, Kiki? Because I'm not quite sure what is the specific connection issue there. It could be dependent on the time of day. I know that a couple of days ago we did have some outage on Facebook. It was a global problem everywhere. People couldn't enter the website. So when something like that happens, there might be connection issues between Restream and the end platforms. But yeah, generally, you can use Restream as an alternative to Zoom. So basically, use Restream Studio as your encoder, or you can continue using Zoom and then restream your Zoom meeting to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and multiple other channels by connecting your Zoom meeting or webinar to Restream and sending it, broadcasting it everywhere like that. All right. So let's see. Daniel is saying, when using RTMP, what do you do with the RTMP URL when going live with Ecamm? So when you're using Ecamm with events, you actually do not need to use RTMP URL or settings. With events in particular, Ecamm allows you to select from a drop-down menu the event that you already created in Restream and then just stream into it. So for events, the RTMP settings are not necessarily. I believe if you're streaming instantly or if you're streaming with OBS, then you can get RTMP settings from your event card, and then you can connect them to your OBS stream. All right.
More people with the wish list.
Yes, that's a good one. So 1080 60. Yeah, so currently a lot of platforms that we're supporting are not supporting that format. So for example, LinkedIn is not going to accept the stream that has this kind of dimensions. But for other platforms, absolutely, yes, that's a good idea. We are going to look into that with developers, because there were also some requests coming through about just elevating the quality above 1080p, right? Like, so again, not all platforms are going to support that. Some platforms will downgrade your quality anyway, but some platforms do have the ability to get more than just full HD streaming. So we're looking into that direction for sure. And as soon as it's ready, we'll let you know. Great feedback and suggestion. Really helpful. So video quality is poor through Studio. That's a good question. There are so many factors that could affect that. It could be the internet connection, the speed of your internet, the abilities of your computer, your CPU, like how powerful is your computer. If you're using something like MacBook Air, it's a little less powerful than supercomputers that gamers are using with like graphic cards and stuff like that. It could depend on the quality of your camera. It can also depend on certain settings, because in your settings in Studio, you have to choose what kind of quality you want. And I believe our default is high definition, which is 720p, which is just kind of like the middle ground. And there's also standard definition, which is 480. So you want to make sure that when you're starting your stream, you are selecting the right settings. If you have any other things going on your computer, if in addition to Studio you're running other programs, that is going to consume a lot of your computer power and potentially internet if those are web services. So that's something that you need to kind of consider as a complex as a whole. If you tried to close everything unnecessary, keep your web browser up to date, reset it, your internet speed is great, your computer is not using anything else on the back end, your quality is selected to be full HD and your camera is good and you're still not getting the results that you want, definitely please reach out to our customer support 24/7 technical advisors that we have there will have a look at your setup and see what they can do in terms of troubleshooting that. But generally, the most common reasons your internet connection, how much CPU your computer is using, what kind of settings you selected in the studio, and what kind of camera, right? All right. Overlay Geek says we find the quality in studio is great. You need to go to advanced settings and set it up to 80, 30, yes, 1080p basically. That makes it much better. Yes, just one more time, I'm going to share my screen and show you how exactly you get there. Right here, this little gear icon, you're going to click that and make sure that with your video resolution, you have full HD. The default for us is high definition because that's kind of like the middle ground, right? You can also go to your advanced settings and double check that your live stream quality is also at 1080p. In that case, you're getting the highest quality that Studio is capable of. And then the rest is up to your internet connection, CPU, camera, and all that stuff that we mentioned earlier. Awesome. All right. New to Restream and loving it. It works both on my iPhone 12 as well as laptop. That's really good to hear. We are constantly working on improving your mobile experience. This is especially essential for your guests because if you're creating events and inviting guests to join your with Livestream, a lot of them will be preferring to join from their phone. So it's really good to hear that iPhone 12 is working good for you. And of course, laptop is what we primarily designed for. So great to hear that. Would you think about making an app for phones and tablets? Yes, definitely. Not a trivial task because to make live streaming good and like figuring out what are the essential functions of Studio that we could bring to mobile is what we are in process of, but that is in our plans and we'll keep you posted as we move forward with that. Thanks for a good question. Definitely +1 to our product requests on mobile. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. When streaming, I see this appear on my screen. Safari browser support is limited. We recommend switching to desktop Google Chrome for the best experience. How can I handle that? Yeah, so if you're joining from your mobile, we just want to make sure that we notify you that the experience on Safari, especially from mobile, is still going to be slightly worse than the one that you will get on the laptop or computer in Google Chrome because those are our recommended and preferred settings. That does not mean that your mobile experience is not going to work at all. We're just giving you that notification that there might be certain things that are not going to be working as perfect as with Google Chrome. You can simply close that and kind of test it first. We actually have a great feature called record only. So one thing that you can do if you're not quite sure how the end quality and video is going to look like, you can use your phone to record yourself with record only, see the quality in the recording, or you can set it to just one platform that's not your major channel and see if that looks good to your standards. The notification that you're getting there is just for awareness. You can simply close it. But we do want you to know that Google Chrome is our preferred browser. Awesome. Awesome. All right. I don't have the full HD option on mine, but if I'm honest, I don't have many problems. So this is a good point right here. So the full HD is a pro feature, right? Like so, in order to get access to full HD streaming, you do need to be on professional plan or higher. It is quite resource consuming for us to process and send full HD streams on multiple platforms. That's why it is a feature that we ask you to upgrade for to unlock it. So just make sure you check if you're on free on standard plan, you might consider upgrading. We constantly run specials. There are certain trials that we offer if you just want to test it out. But yes, that's one thing that might prevent you from getting full HD is you need to be on the pro plan. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Overland Gigs is on fire today. I'm getting so many great comments and questions from him. I would love to see a mobile chat app to manage comment. That would be a huge for us, huge thing for us. One that doesn't refresh and lose comments when leaving the app. So that's a great thing for us to note. Currently, if you are using Restream Studio, one thing that we're hoping to bring to the table soon is the ability to pin certain chats, so you can basically save or like reserve the comments that you want to get back to later. But giving you an application is something that we can definitely think about. Like, yeah, you can you can already open your chat in the separate tab in the browser if you want them to be separated from the studio. But yeah, an app would be a good idea. Thanks for sharing. That's all good stuff. Very exciting things today. So yeah, we are going to just drop the question one more time because I know that there are more people coming in today. Let me know if you are using scheduled events in Restream or you prefer to stream instantly, and let us know why, because we would love to hear your rationale and like your ideas about why one way works for you better than the other. We covered some reasons to create events, and the three major of them is the pre-promotion on end platforms, because Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn allow you to uh, set the reminders for your audiences. You can also copy the URL for event and send it to your mail list or however else you pre-promote your event. And then because events support pairs, so you can stream on your guest channels or your friends channels or anybody's channels your upcoming next live event. So let us know if you are using events or you are streaming instantly, so we can keep the conversation going. Awesome. All right. So what else do we have here? Oh, for example, API for Trovo, I believe, doesn't pull the correct number of current viewers. Yes. So the viewer counter that you're seeing in this studio is working for some platforms better than for others. So there are certain limitations there. The major platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch do show you the viewer counter. That actually only applies to your own channels. I believe when it comes to paired channels, we are also bringing that functionality to you, but not quite sure if this is this iteration or the next one. I'll definitely have to check on that one. There are certain platforms that do not share the views with us. LinkedIn is actually one of them. So if you're not seeing the view counter just yet, that means we're working on it. So stay tuned. We will hopefully bring them to you later. It's awesome. Is there a way I can get my Facebook chats on Restream during live streaming? Yes, absolutely. If Facebook is one of the platforms that you're going live on, you should be getting chats through our chat aggregator from Facebook as well as other platforms, and you can highlight them on the video just like Gustavo is doing right now, or you can open them in a separate browser tab if you're not using Studio. So yes, the Facebook chats are going to come through when you're streaming on Facebook. Absolutely. Good stuff. I don't schedule, but about to go live, and as one of the most attractive. Oh, sorry, I'm like losing my words right now. One of the most active and attractive restreamers. Try Restream and keep killing it, as well as you other streamers out there. Awesome. Thank you so much, Fanatic. That's really good to hear. I'm so glad you're about to go live. That's super empowering for us to hear. Always good to get your feedback, guys. I stream live. I can't record yet as I'm not a pro, but I will be on pro one day. Yes, so recordings is one of the features that we offer on professional plans, or maybe I actually believe that we do have recordings on standard. Is that right, Gustavo?
Yeah, no, it's recording, pre-recording only on professional, not on standard.
Recording only is on professional, but we do have the
Yeah.
recording of your stream starting from
Oh yeah.
standard,
Yes.
I believe. Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yes, so you can actually, if you are recording, if you want to record only and then added the video or audio separately later, then you'll need to be on professional plan. But on standard plan, you can already go live to, let's say, one small channel that's not your main, and then you can download the recording and then you can practice editing it, chopping it off into small micro content clips, podcasts, whatever you do with that. Definitely great feature and good reason to upgrade if you are doing a mixture of live videos and pre-recorded ones, such as little clips, tips, and things like that. I'm actually a big fan of that. Like I do a lot of short videos on LinkedIn that I record in studio. Donna is asking, can you have overlays and features of Studio when using custom RTMP instead of Studio? So the way you could do that, there is a way to do it. You could pull your OBS stream or any other encoder stream into the Studio, either using virtual camera, like you would do with OBS or Ecamm, or using our RTMP source feature, which is actually, I believe, our premium or even business feature. So it's pretty high end, sophisticated stuff. But yes, there is a way to take your OBS stream, pull it into your studio, and then take advantage of things like chat overlay, highlighting of comments, which is happening right now, right here, your graphic overlays, your logos, and all that good stuff. So it's either going to be RTMP source pulled into studio or virtual camera from OBS or Ecamm. That's how you would do that. Awesome. Bobby from Facebook. Here's, by the way, an example of comment coming from Facebook, and we're pulling it in Restream Studio. And earlier you saw there were a lot of comments from uh, YouTube. So, of course, good divorce audience here. Can you use a stream key using Restream on different platforms? On using Prism Live Studio. Can you give us the example of the different platform? Because I'm not sure if I'm familiar with Prism Live Studio. But most of the time, Restream key, if you're using something like OBS, you can take the Restream key from your RTMP settings and then stream from OBS to Restream. But like, if you can elaborate on that, Bobby, a little bit, I would love to understand like what exactly, where are you getting the key from, and where are you wanting your live stream to end up. So just let me know what exactly are the platforms that you're looking at. Have you considered allowing recordings longer than 1 hour? As I find this too restrictive. I wonder if others find this too. Well, we actually do not have a restriction for recordings of 1 hour, I believe. I believe there are restrictions that you have depending on the plan that you are using, and especially if we're talking about record only feature, right? Just to make sure that we're on the same page. Our restrictions start with 6 hours on standard and 8 hours on professional. So 1 hour recording is not something that I am familiar with, but let me know if I'm wrong. Gustavo, feel free to correct me. Or
Yeah,
yeah, Wake Up UK, let me know where you're seeing that.
yeah, I think it's 60 standard, 10 professional, and 20 hours premium in business.
Oh, you see, even more. Yeah. So I personally
Even
have
more.
never heard of a 1 hour recording restriction. So if you're recording your streams, it's however long your stream goes until you hit those restrictions, which is 6, 10, and 20 hours. So no 1 hour recordings that I'm aware of. Awesome. Jeffrey here says why you add a destination. When you add a destination, it asks for title, description, etc. You also get those same inputs when you schedule a stream. Wondering why you need this info in multiple places. When you are scheduling a stream, that is a completely different environment than your instant streaming, right? So once you created your title and description for an instant stream, you can actually reuse it multiple times whenever you go live instantly. We just remember the set that you have, your title, your description, and the platforms that you chose. When it comes to event, every new event is a new life, right? Like it's a new world. You're creating it, and every time since you're opening your door for streaming for that specific time period, we're asking you to make sure that the title, the description, and the channels that this specific event is going live on are correct. So that's why you will have to re-enter them for each specific event. But if you go live instantly, then those settings could be saved and then they can be reused. It's a good idea to see if we could populate some of that stuff for events that are recurrent, right? The very common feature, the requests that we're getting. But yeah, it's basically because those are two different spaces, your instant streaming versus events. Maybe actually an interesting reason why people are using instant streaming, so they don't have to recreate the stream details every time. Good input. Thanks, Jeffrey. To Butter, good name. Does using your platform violate any policies on Twitch or YouTube? No, it does not. You can definitely stream on YouTube using Restream. That's actually both Twitch and YouTube are major reasons and major platforms and destinations that Restream works with. We do have an API with them, so that's official partnership with those platforms that allows us to stream. That's why we are able to pull the comments back from those excuse me, destinations, because clearly if the connection is not there, you cannot get anything back from that platform. There is a thing that we recommend considering. If with Twitch, if you're a partner, I believe there are certain restrictions that which Twitch is putting on their partners. Twitch does not want you to stream your content on other platforms. And if you signed a partner agreement with Twitch, then you might be restricted to Twitch platform only, because then Twitch owns your content and you're exclusive to it. It is your business decision to decide what's more important and powerful for you, to be on multiple platforms and reach wider audiences, or to be partnered with one platform and stay exclusive. Once you sign some agreements, of course, we recommend that you follow the terms and conditions on those agreements. But in terms of any limitations or restrictions on using Restream in general, with YouTube or Twitch, those do not exist. You're absolutely fine streaming to both of those platforms. All right. What is the best to stream on webcam or smartphone? I definitely would recommend a laptop and webcam because it is a little bit more powerful of a device. And if you want to get better quality, generally your webcam and your computer, your laptop, are going to provide you with better quality. However, there are some ways to turn your phone, your smartphone, into a web camera. I believe there's a tool called Epocam. It's also currently owned by Elgato, our favorite gear provider. So you can definitely explore that version, and we can share the links on Facebook on how to get there. I remember I even did a whole live stream about that with Elgato team. Elgato allows you to take this phone and basically connect it to your laptop, and then in studio it becomes recognizable as a web camera. So if you have a really good and powerful phone camera, you can actually trick your computer into thinking that that's a webcam. So that's how you could potentially get both of two worlds. But you definitely we definitely recommend and prefer to use laptop and computer over the phone because it's just a little bit more powerful when it comes to live streaming. Great questions, guys. This is all good stuff. Awesome. All right. Oleg is asking, if I fail to go live at the time predefined, can I still have the event later without changing anything? Will it still work? Great question, Oleg. It depends on the platform. So Facebook does have a limitation. You cannot be late to your event for more than 10 minutes. So unfortunately, that's kind of like your time frame there. With platforms like YouTube, you do not have that limitation. So you can actually schedule an event and then go in later. But Facebook does have that limitation. And I believe LinkedIn, as they are rethinking their events right now, will also have certain time frames. So the trick for that would be to maybe schedule the event for a little bit later than you plan to go live, because you can actually go live earlier. So if you're not sure if you're going to be available at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., just schedule it for 2 p.m. and then you can go live at 1. That might confuse your audience a little bit, those who set the reminders, but in general, that's going to be technically possible. So it will still work. Good stuff. All right. Will is asking, when inviting others on a non-pro account, does the amount of people you can have live with you include your extra camera? Very good question. It does. So and it doesn't actually matter which account you're on. So for free, I believe you can have up to 6 guests. And then starting from professional plan and higher, you can have up to 10 guests. But that does include if you invite yourself as one of those guests with alternative camera, if you're going to accomplish that multi-camera effect. So yes, you will be taking the spot of one of the guests with the second camera. It's actually a really cool trick and workaround for multi-cam use. Invite yourself as a guest, connect from a different camera, show that different angle. I've seen those streams before. They look pretty epic. Can't even tell that's a guest feature used like multicam. I love the long restrictions on Restream. But then StreamYard restricts to 20 hours of live streaming per month. I love Restream. Thank you so much. Yes, we don't have per month restrictions at all. So the only restriction that you have is per video itself. You can actually record as many as you want, and you can go live as many times as you want. So that is good news. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. All right. How well does Restream work with streaming on Instagram and Facebook simultaneously using the yellow duck as workaround? So it's a little bit of a tricky question for us because technically Instagram does not allow multi-streaming. So there was a question about Twitch and YouTube, like, is it legal to stream on those? Yes, absolutely. But with Instagram, the story is slightly different. Instagram officially only wants you to go live from their native app. They do not want third-party applications to stream live on Instagram. So therefore, things like Yellow Duck is definitely a little bit of a hack. One thing to remember about Yellow Duck, actually 2 or even 3 things. One, this is going to work as RTMP, as a customer TMP. So your video will go live with Yellow Duck, but the comments are not going to come back. It's a one-way street. Just keep that in mind. Number 2 is that you have a very small window. Since Yellow Duck is a workaround, it's a third-party application. It's actually not part of Restream. It's something that Restream connects with. Yellow Duck has a very small window. I believe it's about 5 minutes between the moment when you can get the RTMP settings and then connect them to your OBS or Studio and then go live into the Yellow Duck. And another thing, last time I tested it, it actually did not show me my own video on my own Instagram feed. So someone else from a different phone had to look at it in order to test and verify that it's even going live. So it's very hacky way to get there. It does work. We do integrate with Yellow Duck, and we know people do that. But just remember that generally Instagram is not very happy with that. It's not going to be very user friendly. It's quite techy, and a lot of times, if communication and interactive chats with your audience is your thing, Yellow Duck or workaround is not going to be the best for you because the comments are not going to be coming back. So just something to keep in mind. Awesome. All right, Bobby, you're back. I love that Mickey Mouse picture, by the way. It's really cool. What is better to go live on social media apps or on Restream? So I personally primarily go live on Restream because it is just easier for me to learn one interface and one user experience in terms of hosting live shows than to learn how Facebook producer does that, how YouTube producer does that, how Twitter Live do that, and so on and so forth. Certain platforms such as LinkedIn don't even have a way to go live natively from the platform. So Restream is, as well as another 4 partners, is actually the only way to go. So I personally prefer going through Restream because also it allows me to be live everywhere and to consolidate the comments and communicate with all of you at the same time. But of course, it's a personal preference. We do, of course, at Restream believe that going live on multiple destinations is very powerful for growing your audience. So yeah, Restream for me. That's going to be my choice. 2-part question. This is good. This is getting really exciting. Is there any way to modify the default font? If not, is there any way to get animated lower third graphics? So currently you have 3 different themes in your graphics, and we're gonna keep this question on, and I'm just gonna show you the 3 different versions. So there's this one. You see how like things change and of course you can adjust colors with the color scheme. There's this guy and then there's this one. So those are the ways that you can display your comments and your captions currently. However, yes, currently we don't allow you to change the font. This is something that we're thinking about because it's a good idea to make the branding even more customizable. In terms of animated lower third graphics, we're thinking about animated overlays, and also there is a chance that that little ticker graphic, the moving text on your lower third of the video, is something that is coming out very soon. So stay tuned for that. That's in the product map, coming out shortly. All right. If I have a power cut on my computer and my computer crashes midstream, how long will the stream stay live without me connected? Is there like a window of 5 minutes to get back or something like that? Yeah, we kind of covered that in the beginning of the stream. Great question. You do have 2 minutes to reconnect, whether it's your computer crashing or your internet going down. So 2 minutes to reconnect into the same event. If you have guests who are with you in the stream and they are not disconnected, then that window goes up to 5 minutes. If you're solo, in 2 minutes, we are going to close the stream. And then once you're back live, reconnected, we're going to start a new stream. It's going to be a new instant stream, or if you have the ability to quickly create a new event, you can go live into that, but you will not be coming back into that same stream. So we definitely recommend to make sure that you have a way to reconnect within 2 minutes, or just be prepared that it's going to be a separate live event or live stream starting on your channels. Good question. Awesome. Can we get more background filters? So backgrounds that we have currently, so there are of course some default backgrounds and customizable ones. So the ones that you see behind us right now is actually our own branded background. We do offer a background that are animated. So I'm going to start throwing us into an outer space in just a minute here. So those are the ones that we offer natively, and you can actually upload your own video animated backgrounds as well if you are on professional plan. That allows you to add custom graphics. So filters, when you say filters, let me know if I understand this correctly. Do you just mean like the graphics or filters, like Instagram style filters? Because that's a great feature request, something that we are thinking about for both your videos, backgrounds, and other graphics. Yeah, why not add little black and white and other filters to beautify everything that you're seeing, right? And I'm actually going to change it to our full y'all type overlay and background. Awesome. All right. So many questions today as we need to wrap up. Let's take one last question or comment or anything that we would like to cover today. All right, and that's going to be Wake Up UK. I love that name too. Free to join social network. What features are users most surprised and pleased to find out about? Well, I'll be honest with you. Even though I'm one of the product owners of Restream Pairs were definitely a hit. Like people were really, really happy about the opportunity to collaborate and stream to other people's channels. That's a huge value add to those who are working on developing their audiences. And that's one of the most commonly asked questions that we get, right? Like, how do you get more views? How do you get more people to show up? When it comes to other features, record only was for a long time very requested. A lot of people want to practice recording before they go live. A lot of people want to test their stream or just record and add it later. Another personal favorite is scheduler. Gustavo, do you want to touch on a little bit about like how you can schedule pre-recorded videos to go live and what's the benefit of that, since that's kind of your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, sometimes you want to go live, and you don't need to be actually in front of your computer. You can just schedule an event, a pre-recorded video, and then we do the work for you. Basically, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can create this picture perfect video, record it, and then push it live at whatever time you want. You can still jump in the chat if you want to communicate with your viewers, and you can do it in studio even or in a standalone chat application. But this perfect picture perfect video is going to run. You're going to take advantage of and platform algorithms of live video, and yet you know that there will be no epic fails, no issues, no disconnect, because once you schedule it, you don't even need to be at your computer. You can just completely leave, go and have yourself a margarita and not worry about that. So that's another little workaround of like, how do I find internet connection? Well, record video, schedule it, push it live. Good stuff. All right. So as we wrap up, I see there's some comments about the T-shirt. That's really good. There's some giveaways that we're doing occasionally. So there's a way to win it. For that, you guys should connect with our Facebook community. We have a Facebook group on Restream. It's called Restream Community. So join that. It's a members-driven constant conversation about how to get better at live streaming. And Restream team just kind of hops on from now and then, and we do giveaways there every so often. So that's a good way to potentially get that T-shirt, get a hold of it. And actually, we're just going to take this one since it's related to scheduler, the feature that we talked about. What are the restrictions on uploaded video to be scheduled? Gustavo, would you like to take this one since you're the scheduler guy?
Uh, what are the restrictions to be uploaded video to be scheduled? I wouldn't know how to answer that. Like, what are the restrictions actually?
Well, there's some size limitations, right? Like
Yeah,
depending on the size of your video and depending on the plan, I believe we allow up to was the
let me
biggest one? I
check
think it's up
this.
to 10. Yeah, because I remember someone asked that last time, and that was
So
definitely a
yeah,
good.
yeah, you can get like video storage, like 10 video storage on professional, 25 on premium, and 50 videos on business. And video upload limit, you're gonna have 1 hour or 2 gigabytes on professional, 2 hours and 5 gigabytes on premium, and 4 hours and 10 gigabytes on business plan.
Awesome. Yeah. So those are the restrictions. And if you go to your Restream dashboard and go to schedule video file, all those restrictions and requirements for your format, for your duration and lengths are listed there. If you're unsure or if you have a video file and you're not sure if that's going to work, guess what? Our customer support 24/7 people are there to help you out. Ping them, ask them if this is going to work. And like Gustavo was mentioning, we're running webinars around different products and features, around events, around scheduling. So make sure you hop on one of those and ask your questions and maybe share your specific requirements and needs. And we will try to make sure to set you up for success. All right. I think this is going to be it for today. I am going to come back to all our Facebook people and make some comments, also like leave some comments on YouTube with helpful links to make sure you guys have all you need, all the Solgato products that I mentioned, as well as some tutorials on scheduler, on pairs, and on scheduling events. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I think it is time for our high five. Gustavo, are you ready?
I am.
Let's do it. One, two, and three. Boom. Here we go. Good stream. Great questions, guys. We're doing this every other week on Wednesdays. We have different rotating hosts, folks from marketing, customer support, customer success, helping you out to understand our features better, to understand how you can implement them and use them on your live streams to grow your audience, to be better at live video marketing and whatever else you do with videos. We wish you happy rest of your week and great streams, happy and engaged audiences. So, cheers, guys. Thank you so much for showing up and thanks for streaming with us.
Thanks, Anya. Thanks, everyone.
All right.